Okay, everybody, it's time to work on another math problem. I'm back. So now we're in item 5-8. Item 5-8 is kind of tricky, but listen to me and you'll be on your way. Okay, here's the problem. Look at the problem very carefully. Mona Alawi drew a regular decagon. Do you know who's Mona Alawi? Mona Alawi is a vlogger, but I do not know who she really was. But I know her sister is Ivana. But Mona Alawi is the daughter, something like that. If you don't know their vlogs, please watch them, okay? So, ito yung problema. She drew a regular decagon. You might remember when we say a regular decagon, it is a decagon whose angles are all symmetrical. So, yan. And she labeled the vertices in alphabetical order subsequently. Ayan, like for example, ito yung regular decagon. You want to see it? Like for example, ito. See this regular decagon that you see here? This is the regular decagon that Ate Ivani Alawi drew. Or Mona Alawi drew. Tama? And then, she labeled the points in alphabetical order subsequently. When we say alphabetical order, it's from A to Z. Pero, when we say subsequently, it means in the subsequent order. Like for example, if this were point A, the next point will be point B. Ito yun. And then point C, and then D, E, F, G, and so on. Hanggang matapos. Hindi this one A, then this one another letter, then B. That is not subsequent in alphabetical order. So yun po talaga yung condition dyan. She labeled the vertices in alphabetical order subsequently. Ibig sabihin, in alphabetical order from A to Z, pero subsequently in this order. Like for example, if you start A here, pwedeng B dito, then C, D, E, and so on. Okay? Now, here's the part. Oh, by the way, that you thought that decagon was just bare, but there's a problem that will be showed on later. So just follow instructions as we read. Okay? It says here, she drew lines that yoke from one vertex to another. Like for instance, there's a line drawn from point A to point E. Ayan. So remember, a line drawn from point A to point E. So kung dito siya, di ba ito yung point A? Tapos ito yung point E. So getting your ruler, we draw the line like this. Patingin ko mabuti ha. So we draw the line. Wait lang ha. So yan, so this is the regular decagon. Alright? So there's a line drawn from point A to point E. And it will look like this. Okay? So putting your ruler into this shape, get your pen, and then draw the line. Yan. Did you see now the line? Yes, very good. That's the line that we draw from point A to point E. And that's correct. Okay? Next. Two lines are drawn from point C to both points J and point G. Yan. So, following instructions again. So, don't think kasi it's just going to be a regular decagon, ha? Pero this time, there are lines to make the problem trickier. Pero anong sabi dito sa instruction? Two lines are drawn from point C to point J and from point C to point G. So, kung ito yung point J, ito yung point G. So, getting your ruler, we draw the line just like this. Follow the line carefully, then sketch. Yan. And then we work it out on the other side. Okay? Dahil na-connect siya kay point G. Yun. Alright? So that's how the figure should look like. Just like that. Meron pa ba? Let's check the next instruction. Two lines are also joined from point I that yoke with both points L and F. Ayan. So this is a bit tricky. Kasi nga, look at this. Two lines are drawn from point I. And then that yoke with both points L and F. Although we don't have point L. Pero here's another clue. It says that L line AE intersects with line GC at point L. Gaya ganito. So, di ba remember anong sabi dito sa instruction? Follow instructions again. Di ba sabi dito, two lines are drawn from point I. Di ba, where's point I? Dito siya. That yoke with both points L and F. So, we know point F is obvious. Dito siya. So this is where you got to draw the line. Like this. Yan. And then, meron pang isang condition. It says here, line AE intersects with line GC at point F. Line AE, di ba remember this one? Line AE is this one. Di ba remembering basic geometric sentences or statements? You should apply that. And it intersects line GC, this is GC, at point L. Ayan, so line AE intersects line GC at point L. Ayan, so dito nagtatagpuan ang point L. Yan. So this is where point L is located. And then sabi dito, point I connects with point L. So therefore, we make line segment IL. So we draw the line. Yan. So the figure should look like this. Tama? Ito po yung figure. Getting complex, alright? So yan. So what's the next instruction? On the other hand, sabi dito, line CJ intersects with line AE at point K. Yan. So remember the instruction. Where's line CJ? Line CJ is right here. Ito yun, di ba? And it intersects line AE at point K. So this is CJ and this is AE. So there's the intersecting point. Dito mo makikita. And this is what you call point K. Yan. So looking at the problem now, it should look like this. Okay? And the next instruction is this. Line IF is perpendicular to line GC. Ayan, dito siya. Where is line IF again? Dito natatagpuan. Is perpendicular with line CG. Perpendicular, when we say perpendicular, ibig sabihin 90 degrees. So, ito yun. Everything's all perpendicular. Every angle is 90 degrees. Yan. So, it should look like this. And that is your clue. Alright? And even if we were to check with a protractor, it should be 90 degrees. Or almost. Although it may not be drawn to scale, but that's how the problem goes. Okay? Now, ito na. Based on the drawing that she made, she measured for all the angles in the figure. When she was done with her work, she took a little nap, and while her big sister erased all of her work, all of the measures of her project. Ayan, that's Ivana Alawi. Si Ivana Alawi ay yung ate. Si Mona ay yung bunso. Okay? As Mona was about to check on her project, as she woke up, she was shocked to see that all of the measures have been erased. Moreover, she tried to find her protractor to remeasure all the angles, but Ivana, anong ginawa niya? Ang ginawa niya ay ganito. Habang natutulog si Mona, Ivana erased all the measures. Like for example, kung ito yung what you call is, kung ito yung measure, di ba? Ayun pala, did you know there's also an intersecting point here? There's another, and this is point M. Ito yung point M. How can you say that's point M? Going back to the problem. So, ito yun. Follow the instructions. Do we have point M? Yan. Wala tayong point M. But they're all perpendicular. But you can name that point anything you like. Okay? Ayan. And he challenged her to solve for them without using it. Here are the clues she provided. Ayan. So, based on the drawing, be sure to double check if it's correct. If your drawing is correct, you can now start solving for the measures. So, in this objective, this implies the application of following instructions when it comes to drawing, sketching, and putting measures. Alright? So remember, that was the project that Mona Alawi did. Pero her ate, si Ivana Alawi, she erased all of the numbers and then challenged her to solve for it once again. So ganito yun. But there are still some clues that she provided to make solving easier. So let's read the clues. Okay, ganito yung mga clues namin. Angle CLK is an isosceles triangle with angle C and K being the congruent angles. So yan, look at the figure. Where is angle CLK? Do you find CLK somewhere? Where is triangle CLK? In the figure. Based on the figure that you see here, nakikita mo ba yung CLK? Ayan. That is the one. And if I remember, the clue there is such that angle C and angle K are both congruent angles. When we say congruent angles, both angles have the same measure. So ganito siya. To zoom in a bit closer, ganito yun. So this is angle C. You see this equal mark? It means congruent siya. Then angle K is also congruent. Yun. Okay? Now, here's the next problem. Next clue. FHGI is an isosceles trapezoid. Where do you see FHGI based on the figure? Ito, very good. FGHI. And then, there's a line. And then sabi dito, it's an isosceles trapezoid. When we say isosceles trapezoid, ibig sabihin, two angles, a pair of angles are congruent. And these pair of angles must also be congruent. Ayan. So, ganito siya, di ba? So, to zoom in a bit closer, ganito siya. Angle I has an isosceles mark. And angle F also has an isosceles mark. Yan. So, it should just look like that. Next. Angle AEF is congruent with angle JAE, whose measure is a number squared plus a number. Ayan. So, where's angle AEF based on the figure? Do you see angle AEF anywhere? Ayan, ito yun. AEF. Angle AEF is congruent with angle JAE. Nasaan yung JAE? Ayan, ito yun. AEF and JAE. Teka, they're just the same. Diba? Equivalent siya. They are the same. Diba? They are congruent. And then, whose measure is a number squared plus a number. What does that mean? Diba? Remember, this is the problem. Diba? So, this is FEA, and JAE. They both have the same measure. And ano yung measure? We do not know. But the clue there is, it's a number squared plus a number. So, it's x squared, which is a number squared. Ito yun, di ba? X squared plus a number, which is x. Yan. So, that's the problem. So, that's the clue. Okay? Last but not least, angle KLI and angle ILM for an adjacent pair of such congruent angles such that they are symmetrical. Ayan, where's angle KLI? KLI is right here. Yan. And then, where is ILM? ILM, ito yun. Yes, they are adjacent. When we say adjacent, ibig sabihin, they are makatabi. Such that they are symmetrical. O yan, so when we say symmetrical, they both have the same measures. So KLI, which is this one, and then ILM, which is this one, they are both the same measure. They both have the same measure, just like that. Okay? And those are the clues. Now, it's our job to solve for the measure of the following angles. Good luck if we can do it. See you in the next video. Basta I will show you how to solve for those angles in the next video. For now, I just want to show you how to draw the figure. Alright?